Trial resumed. Jury not present.
The court said, "Good morning. Would you make your appearances?"
Mr. Ferguson said, "Good morning, Your Honor. Micah Ferguson, Ryan Finkel, Juliana Murray, and Justin Horton will be joining us for the United States. Also joined at counsel table by our paralegal Isabel Loftus."
Ms. Shrofa said, "Good morning, Your Honor. On behalf of Miles Gwa, Sabrina Shroff, Siddhartha Kumraju, John Kilgard, and Mr. Skirrick, who is behind the counsel table, as well as Ms. Tilton."
The court said, "Please be seated. All the jurors are present. We're ready to start at 9 a.m. Is there anything before that?"
Ms. Shrofa said, "Your Honor, the defense have one matter to raise, if I may. So, Your Honor, as to the pending exhibit, which is, I believe, 173, we are not able to agree to its admission because part of it is still not translated. To the extent that the government's translations were sent to us, we find them mostly acceptable. We have our check done. But there's a portion that is not yet translated, so to the extent that can get translated, we would take a different position."
Mr. Ferguson said, "Your Honor, we sent this to defense counsel at the end of the trial day. It's about a 24-page exhibit with a few different documents. It's a letter that encloses several records, including some accounting sheets and then some invoices. It's basically an accounting of the $1 million that Misley was told to keep and where she transferred it. She's an accountant, and she kept these records. She sent it as a letter to Yvette Wang. And it's signed by both Misley and Ms. Wang. The first 6 pages or so have text. We had translated 5 of the 6 pages when we sent it to defense. I flagged that the 6th page was not translated. We don't intend to show the 6th page to the jury. We're also fine to proceed with just the Mandarin version." "Your Honor, it's fine. Primarily, I want to focus on the invoices at the back of it, and the fact that it's signed by Yvette Wang and Misley. So we're happy to proceed, you know. Whatever makes the most sense, Your Honor. We don't want to just delay things. But just for further context, Your Honor, the invoices and the wire transfer records, those are all in English. They're just, you know, like business records. And that's what we want to focus on in this exhibit. You know, we don't have the 6th page translated. We can."
The court said, "Is there a reason for that?"
Mr. Ferguson said, "It's how we got it back from our translation service. They may have skipped over it as a mistake. It's what we have. I apologize for the inconvenience here, Your Honor. We can proceed with just the Mandarin version and focus on the invoices, if that seems acceptable to the court. Those portions are in English."
Ms. Shrofa said, "Your Honor, it would be improper to admit a half document because the government only plans to use certain pages. So we're happy to have that one page translated and send it to the government. Or the government can, I stopped because it looks like the court wants."
The court said, "This page needs to be translated if you want to use this document."
Mr. Ferguson said, "Your Honor, there's no rule that requires English-only documents. And the evidence in this case is a mix of Mandarin and English. And there's going to be documents that are in both Mandarin and English."
The court said, "Are you saying that you have documents that are exclusively in Mandarin that you intend to admit?"
Mr. Ferguson said, "We may. And there's certainly many documents that are a mix of Mandarin and English together."
The court said, "Well, I'm not interested in what might happen. I want to know, what is your intention? Do you intend to attempt to admit documents that are exclusively in Mandarin?"
Mr. Ferguson said, "The portions of this document that are in Mandarin, yes."
The court said, "You're not answering my question."
Mr. Ferguson said, May I have a moment, Your Honor? I can just confer briefly. I don't know exactly every single exhibit in the case."
Government counsel conferring.
Mr. Ferguson said, "We may offer some recordings, Your Honor, that have the defendant's voice that are in Mandarin for the fact that, it was him speaking. With respect to this document, the important point about the Mandarin section is just the Yvette Wang signature. Her name is spelled out, Yvette Wang, and she signed it. That's the portion from the Mandarin section we would like to highlight for the jury. That portion is all translated as well. It's the 6th page, which it just lists what the invoices are that follows. And I'm not going to, it's like a cover page for all the invoices. I'm not even going to show that to the jury or talk about it. I'm just going to look at some of the invoices, which are all in English. And if Your Honor would like, we can just redact page 6 and, proceed that way.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, that presupposes that the defense would waive any argument that an incomplete document can be shown to the jury, 1. And 2, that the defense does not, under the rule of completeness, intend to use this portion of the document. It would be prejudicial to the defendant. I also just looked at my emails, Your Honor. And the government gave notice that they plan to call another witness tomorrow, so they have some time on their hands. Apparently the direct and cross of Ms. Mulan is not going to go into tomorrow all the way. So I think that the amount of time we've just gone back and forth, if we take 10 minutes at the break, I think this could be resolved. But the defense has a continuing objection to the document being admitted in some, I don't know if it's aborted or incomplete form.
The court said, wait. I'm sorry. You're saying that you think that you may reach a resolution regarding this 6th page?
Ms. Strofa said, it's just 1 page. All he has to do is get it translated. If they would agree, we could, in the break, have a Google Translate. But we have ample time. According to them, they have enough time tomorrow to call another witness, so we can take our time and get it done.
The court said, I'm not going to permit you to use a document where 1 page is missing a translation.
Mr. Ferguson said, okay, Your Honor. But if we reach agreement, for example, with Google Translate and they're fine with us offering it, is that okay with the court?
The court said, absolutely, because it does look like a list and it is a short list.
Mr. Ferguson said, yes.
The court said, so I invite you to do that. Anything else?
Mr. Ferguson said, no, Your Honor.
Ms. Strofa said, not from us, Your Honor.
The court said, all righty.
Recess.
The court said, please be seated. Would you have the jurors brought in, please?
Continued on next page. Jury present.
The court said, please be seated. Good morning, jurors.
The juror said, good morning.
The court said, I want to thank everyone for arriving on time. We're going to continue with the direct examination of the witness. Please remember that you are still under oath.
YLI resumed. Direct examination. By Mr. Ferguson.
Good morning, Ms. Lee.
Good morning, Mr. Ferguson.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, could we please publish Government Exhibit 6191, which is in evidence?
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, I'm not sure 191 is fully admitted.
The court said, do you need a sidebar?
Mr. Ferguson said, I don't believe so, Your Honor.
Ms. Strofa said, no, Your Honor. I think a portion of that is admitted. I think we're fine.
The court said, okay. You may inquire.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, you testified yesterday about this video. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. And I'll now read actually, can we show also Government Exhibit 6192? Which I believe is also in evidence.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, we do actually need a sidebar.
Mr. Ferguson said, Your Honor, it's not in evidence. I don't think we need a sidebar. We can.
Ms. Strofa said, it's not in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, either way, Your Honor, I'll admit it again if we need to. Could we show the witness, please? Government Exhibit 6192. All right. And Ms. Loftus, if we could just scroll through this.
By Mr. Ferguson.
All right. And Ms. Lee, is this a clip from the video of the YouTube page we just looked at?
Yes.
Did you watch that video at the time?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers Government Exhibit 6192, to the extent it's not already in evidence.
Ms. Shrofa said, no objection, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6192 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, and also, if we could publish that, Ms. Loftus. I'm also going to read a stipulation. It's just in hard copy now. This is Government Exhibit Stip 15. And first, I guess the government offers Government Exhibit Stip 15.
The court said, are you going to read it?
Mr. Ferguson said, yes, Your Honor.
The court said, go ahead.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you. It is hereby stipulated and agreed between the parties that in the below chart, the exhibits listed under column A contain audio or text in a foreign language. And the exhibits listed under column B are true and accurate translations of the audio or text contained in the exhibits listed under column A. And it just has GX6192 and GX6192T. So the government offers GX6192T in the Stip 15.
The court said, they're admitted.
Government's Exhibit Stip 15 and 6192T received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, Your Honor, may we publish the hard copy of GX6192T?
The court said yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you. All right. Ms. Loftus, if we could please play the video.
Video played.
Mr. Ferguson said, you can pause it there. I'm just going to go ahead and read a portion, starting at 108 on the transcript. I told all the directors of the Rule of Law Fund that there are several requirements that cannot be changed. First, Wangue's US $100 million will be donated to the Rule of Law Fund in proportion, and that from me was received first. I bear legal responsibility for what I said today. This is today's Rule of Law Fund. 2/3 of the cash in the account come from Wangue. In other words, for every US dollar donated by fellow fighters, $2 come from Wangue. After donating the $100 million, Wangue is coordinating a donation of $1 billion to the Rule of Law Fund. Ms. Lee, was that one of the broadcasts you watched?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. We can take that down, Ms. Loftus. Now, Ms. Lee, when we left off yesterday, we were discussing what you did with the $1 million from the farm loan program. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Just at a high level, what did you do with that $1 million?
So Miles Gov't told me pay some expenses on behalf of headquarters.
And what sort of expenses?
It's GTV IT engineering and customer service, 4G fashion.
The court said, please speak loudly and into the microphone.
The witness said, okay.
Ms. Lee, if you point the top of the microphone towards your mouth, that might help. And what was the process for how you would pay those expenses?
So for the GTV IT engineering, the guy called Ming, he's a CTO of the GTV at that time. He will send me a Excel spreadsheet about every month, how much need to pay to each person. Then according to that Excel spreadsheet, I will make invoice to them and then I will pay from that. Make a payment according to that Excel spreadsheet.
And what entity or entities did you use to make those payments?
G-Translators and the TT Resources one.
Ms. Shrofa said, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear the second part of what she said.
Could you repeat the second entity?
TT Resources 1.
And what was TT Resources?
TT Resources 1 is an entity to making payment for the expenses on behalf of the headquarters.
And who created that entity?
That's me.
Who came up with the idea for creating that entity?
No, Miles Gov't asked me to do this, to help him.
And Ms. Lee, these payments that you were asked to make, did you in fact make these payments?
Yes.
Did you spend any of the $1 million on yourself?
No.
Did you spend any of the $1 million on your family?
No.
Why not?
Because it's the investor's money, not my money.
With respect to the $2 million you transferred to medical supply, Do you know what ultimately happened to that money?
I don't know.
If you had known that farm loan money would be spent on Miles Guo and his family, would you have transferred the $2 million to medical supply?
Ms. Shrofa said, Your Honor.
No.
Ms. Shrofa said, This exact question has been asked and answered several times.
The court said, Overruled. You may answer.
If you had known that farm loan money would be spent on Guo personally and his family personally, would you have transferred the $2 million of farm loan money to medical supply?
No.
Ms. Lee, were there refunds from the farm loan money you received?
Yes.
And what did you typically do when a member requested refunds?
So if someone would ask me for refund, I normally will report it to Miles Guo. And he will give me some directions.
Why would you report that to Miles Guo?
Because it's his investment project.
And when you would report a refund request to Miles Guo, how would he respond?
So, depends. Depends on the supporter's attitude. If it's normal, we'll give them the refund. If the supporters public criticize him or criticize the new federal state of China, then we not refund.
And if a supporter who asked for a refund criticized the NFSC, who told you not to refund it?
Miles Guo.
Himself or through an intermediary?
Himself.
Ms. Lee, are you familiar with Himalaya dollar and Himalaya coin?
Yes.
What did Guo say Himalaya dollar and Himalaya coin were?
So Himalaya dollar and Himalaya coin are cryptocurrencies.
What did you call Himalaya coin for short?
H-coin.
What did you call Himalaya dollar for short?
HDO.
And with those, like more specifically with respect to each, what did Guo say HDO was?
HDO, 1 HDO equal $1.
And what did Guo say H-coin was?
H-coin is up and down. The price will up and down like any other cryptocurrency.
And was H-coin backed by anything, according to Guo?
It is backed by 20% gold.
Did you believe it was backed by 20% gold?
Yes.
Why did you believe that?
He said he's going to send the gold photo to us.
Did that ever happen?
No.
Around when did Guo start promoting HDO and H-coin?
2021.
Ms. Lee, what was the H-coin quota?
H-coin quota depends on how much you investment amount. You get 50% H-coin quota.
So can you explain? Can you give us an example of how that would work, Ms. Lee?
Yes. If your investment amount is 10,000, then you get 5,000 H-coin quota, and each H-coin is worth 10 cents. So you need to pay $500 to buy these 5,000 quota.
So you invested 10,000 previously. How many?
Ms. Shrofa said, Objection to the previously.
The court said, Overruled. You may continue.
You invested 10,000 previously. How many H-coins would you be eligible to buy in the H-coin book?
5,000.
And what would be the price of each of those 5,000 H-coins under the H-coin quota?
10 cents.
And how much would you have to pay for those in total?
$500.
And where would you pay that $500?
To Himalaya Exchange.
All right. Now who came up with the H-coin quota?
Miles Guo.
And around when did the H-coin quota start?
Start early 2021.
Did you participate yourself?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, can we please show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6171? Ms. Lee, what is this document?
This contract to confirm my H-coin quota.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit 6171.
The court said, Any objection?
Ms. Shrofa said, No, Your Honor.
The court said, It is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6171 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, could we just publish it?
By Mr. Ferguson.
While we're waiting, Ms. Lee, What was this a contract for?
This contract is for my H-coin quota.
Mr. Ferguson said, and Ms. Loftus, can we blow up the top half, please? All right. Now, Ms. Lee, it says Mountains of Spices LLC at the top. What's Mountains of Spices LLC?
This New York farm, the name of the New York farm.
Were you a member of Mountains of Spices LLC?
Yes.
You were a member of Mountains of Spices?
No. Sorry. No.
Why is this contract with Mountains of Spices?
Because I'm the G-Translator's leader, so my member will sign a similar contract with me. But because I'm the leader, I can't sign contract with myself, so the leader is signed with Mountains of Spices Farm.
And focusing on the top right, what's the date?
21st of October 2021.
And on the left there it says, name of the HF member. What's HF?
Himalaya Farm.
And what's the name here?
My name.
Mr. Ferguson said, and if we could scroll down, Ms. Loftus. So in the bold it says Himalaya Exchange. Preference and discounted H-coin rate TLE. Letter of agreement. And I'll just keep reading the paragraph there. I am pleased to inform you that, in recognition of the contributions made by you, whose full name and details appear above and below, HF member, in helping support the visions of the Himalaya Farm to achieve its missions and visions. HF has successfully procured from Himalaya Exchange.
The exchange. A favorable benefit, namely to agree to grant you, the HF member, the opportunity to subscribe 66,781 Himalaya coin, H-coin, from the exchange at a preferred and discounted rate of United States $10 per H-coin. The preference HF rate option, before the official launch of H-coin to the general public for open market trading. By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, just for reference, when was the official launch of H-coin for trading?
1st of November 2021.
And you said this was October 21st, so this is
About a week ago, yeah.
a week before that. Okay. Let me ask you, Ms. Lee, at a high level. How were your 66,781 H-coins calculated?
It's calculate, first part is my investment amount, and second part is my volunteer work contribution. And third part is Rule of Law Foundation donation.
Mr. Ferguson said, and Ms. Loftus, if we could scroll down to page 2. All right. And I want to go to page 5, paragraph 5 there. Okay. And I'll read this. A material term of this letter of agreement is that you hereby irrevocably consent to fully and indefinitely complying with the following warranties and undertakings. You warrant and confirm that you are a member of the HF and therefore subscribe to the rules and ideology of the HF.
Subscribing HF member. By Mr. Ferguson.
Just to pause there for a moment, Ms. Lee, what are the rules and ideology of the Himalaya Farm?
So you have to, the ideology here is you have to taking down the CCP and not to cooperate with CCP. And also have to support Miles Guo, support Himalaya Alliance. And not to criticize Miles Guo and criticize new federal state of China publicly.
So part of the rules and ideology of the HF were not to criticize Miles Guo?
Ms. Shrofa said, objection to the leading, Your Honor.
The court said, Mr. Ferguson, no need to repeat her testimony.
Mr. Ferguson said, understood, Your Honor. Okay. I'll keep reading the bullets now. As a subscribing HF member, you warrant and confirm that you abide by the rules and ideology of the HF and acknowledge that you understand that the mission of the HF can only be achieved with each subscribing HF member's strict and committed adherence to the rules and ideology of the HF commitment. You warrant and understand that the offer of the preference HF rate actually. We can keep scrolling down. And if we could actually, we can go to page 3 here. This is great. So this section in bold says breach and enforcement of this letter of agreement.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Now, Ms. Lee, to get your roughly 66,000 H coins at the 10-cent rate, about how much money did you have to pay?
So about 6,000 something US dollar, yeah.
Did you pay that?
Yes.
Where?
Himalaya Exchange.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. So I'll read this. A breach of this agreement amounts to a loss of benefit to HF, which could have been allocated to another member. If HF determines with sufficient evidence that you, as the HF member, have breached any of the above warranties and undertakings, which have entitled you to benefit from the preference HF rate option, such breach shall be considered a material breach of this letter of agreement, and therefore all rights and benefits attached to the preference HF rate option which you have accrued, benefited from, or which you may become entitled to shall automatically be revoked by HF. And you hereby, if we could scroll down, please authorize and consent to notify the exchange to automatically terminate the benefit. And it says, as a result of the breach of this agreement, HF can take any necessary legal action, whether, and the third line from the bottom there says, or the fourth, that including instructing the exchange to undertake a forced liquidation of all the H coins purchased by you. And it says, by signing this agreement, you consent to a liquidation of all H coins purchased by you. If we could scroll down. And paragraph 10 refers to recoverable sums. Ms. Loftus, if we could go to, I'm sorry. Scroll up slightly. Thank you.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, what did you understand this contract to say about breaching? What happens if you breach the contract?
If you breach the contract, so the Himalaya Alliance have the right to take back all your H coins.
And under what circumstances would they be allowed to take back your H coins?
If you breach the contract, which is you're doing something against Miles Guo and Miles Guo's movement and the new federal state of China.
And what did Miles Guo call people who did that?
CCP spy or traitor.
Mr. Ferguson said, if we could scroll down, please, you can go to page 6. All right. Ms. Lee, who signed this agreement?
Me and Xia Qidong.
Can you remind us of his other name?
Brother Long Island, Chengdao.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you, Ms. Loftus. We can take this down. Ms. Lee, in addition to buying H-Coin yourself, what, if anything, did you do to help other supporters participate in the H-Coin quota?
I used my farm company to help Japan Farm and New York Farm to buy H-Coin.
And why?
And also my own farm members, yeah.
Why did you have to help the Japan Farm and the US Farm to buy H-Coin quota?
Because that time, Himalaya Exchange is not available in Japan, New York, America, and Canada.
You said you used a company. Which company of yours was used to receive and send farm money?
HAA Group.
Why did you use HAA Group for the other farm's money?
Oh, because this company is in Australia and it's not a G-Translator. I want to separate.
What did you use G-Translators for with the H-Coin quota?
It's for my farm members.
Now, by the way, Ms. Lee, what did Miles Guo say about whether he owned H-Coins?
He owned nothing. He and his family owned no any H-Coin.
What did he say about whether he owned the Himalaya Exchange?
Nothing.
All right. Now, Ms. Lee.
No any interest.
Ms. Lee, remind us, when did the Himalaya Exchange officially launch?
1st of November 2021.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Lee. To go back briefly.
Yes.
The money you received from the New York and Japan farms, how much money did you receive?
About 5 million.
And where did you send that money?
Hamilton Fund.
And why did you send it to Hamilton Fund?
I was told to send it to Hamilton Fund.
And what was your understanding of the connection, if any, between Hamilton Fund and the Himalaya Exchange?
Hamilton Fund is an institutional investor to Himalaya Exchange.
So what was your understanding of what would happen with the $5 million you sent to the Hamilton Fund?
They were going to buy H-Coin for us.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lee. You said the official launch was November 1st, 2021. According to the Himalaya Exchange website, what happened to the price of H-Coin after it launched?
After launch, it increased quickly.
How quickly?
Like in 1 week, it reached about $20 a dollar, and the highest price can reach about $55.
And so the highest price was $55?
Yes.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Objection, Your Honor, to Mr. Ferguson testifying."
Mr. Ferguson said, "I'm just trying to get to the question, Your Honor. I'll try and do it more quickly."
The court said, go ahead.
So what was the price that you bought the H-Coin?
10 cents.
And remind us, approximately how many H-Coins did you have from the H-Coin quota?
About 60,000.
And remind us, about how much did you pay for that?
6,000.
And when the price was $55, if I can ask you to do math, approximately what was the value of your H-Coins?
About 3 million.
Ms. Lee, what was the H-Coin lockup?
Around the 20th of November, Miles Guo said everyone need to lock up our H-Coin for 3 years. And lock up 90% our H-Coin for 3 years.
And how would everyone's H-Coin or 90% of the H-Coin be locked up?
So we will fill a form from Himalaya Exchange and send it back to Himalaya Exchange, and our coin will be transferred to a company called FMV. The FMV account.
What did FMV stand for?
Freedom Media Ventures.
And what was FMV or Freedom Media Ventures?
That's a company for new GTV.
We'll talk about that, but who, to your understanding, controlled FMV?
Miles Guo.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, if we could please show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6181. And if we could just scroll through it quickly. Ms. Lee, what's this video?
This is Miles Guo's broadcast.
Did you watch it at the time?
Yes. 6181.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Your Honor, I have one question before voir dire examination."
By Ms. Shrofa.
Ms. Lee, you watched it at the time of what?
Of this broadcast.
What year?
2021.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Thank you. I have no objection, Your Honor."
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6181 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, we can go ahead and play it, please.
Video played.
Mr. Ferguson said, okay. Ms. Loftus, if we can pull up the translation, Government Exhibit 6, sorry. Pursuant to the stipulation, Your Honor, Government offers Government Exhibit 6181T.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6181T received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, if we could pull that up, please, Ms. Loftus. All right. And if we can zoom in on the text, please.
By Mr. Ferguson.
All right. Ms. Lee, what was the date of this broadcast?
It's 1st of December 2021.
Mr. Ferguson said, and I'll go ahead and read the text.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Your Honor, I apologize. May I just confer with the government for a minute?"
The court said you may.
Counsel conferring.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Thank you, Your Honor."
Mr. Ferguson said, we can publish that, please, Ms. Loftus. So I'll read the text. It says, many comrades in arms ask about holding the H-Coins on behalf, and many people send messages. But I can't reply one by one. I now ask my little fan sister to send one. I asked a question on behalf of many comrades in arms. These days everyone has been concerning the SUA coins.
SUA is lockup coins.
Concerning the lockup coins. Now one question.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Sorry, Your Honor. I missed what she said. Lock up."
The court said, Ms. Lee, what is SUA coins?
The witness said, yes, SUA is Chinese. That's meaning.
The court said, low cap?
Mr. Ferguson said, lockup.
The witness said, lock up H-coin.
Mr. Ferguson said, Now one question is that the alliance said that GTV company helps everyone hold money. But the name of the company at Himalaya Exchange which sent emails to us is different from the company name of our GTV reconstruction project. Which of the two companies, Freedom Media and Virtual Ltd., is our GTV company? Can the comrades in arms feel relieved to sign the email sent by the Himalaya Exchange? First, the documents given by the Himalaya Exchange can be signed with ease. Second, the new GTV company, called FMV, is the general nominal shareholder. I will also tell you that, for any single coin you lost, Brother 7 will be responsible. For any documents given to you by the Himalaya Exchange and the Alliance, Brother 7 will be fully responsible.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, what's your understanding of what Guo was discussing here?
So when supporters ask the questions concern about the name of the new entity, is that should we send the coin to there? So Miles Guo confirmed, yes. We can send the coin to that FMV because that's a new GTV company. And also, he guaranteed the H coin. You won't lost any coin. If you lost everything, he's responsible.
Ms. Lee, at this time did you know who the directors of FMV were?
No.
Did there come a time when you learned who the director or directors of FMV were?
Yes.
Who?
The name is He-Haran.
Could you please spell that for the court reporter?
H-E-H-R-A-N.
And how did you learn He-Haran was the director of FMV?
Because one day the lawyer sent me a document to sign. The document showing He-Haran is the director of FMV.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, can we please show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 634? Ms. Lee, what's this document?
So this is an email the lawyer sent to me, asked me to sign the document.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit 634.
The court said, no objection.
Ms. Shrofa said, no, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 634 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, could we publish, Ms. Loftus? And Ms. Loftus, we can start down at the last page, please. Now can you scroll up one, next page?
By Mr. Ferguson.
Okay. Ms. Lee, you said this was the email the lawyer sent you?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, can we blow up the text in the bottom email? What's the date of this email on the top left?
10th of September 2022.
And who is it from?
It's from Charisse Archibald.
And who is that?
It's a BVI lawyer.
Mr. Ferguson said, and I'll read the body. It says, Hi, Mulan. I trust you are doing well. I am attaching a resolution appointing you as an authorized representative to operate the Himalaya Exchange Wallet for Freedom Media Ventures Limited. Can you kindly insert your signature into the attached document next to your name? Thanks in advance. If we could scroll up. And just the next email, please.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Okay. And Ms. Lee, could you read your response, please?
I said, Hi Charisse, I couldn't find my name anywhere in the document. Could you please check it again? Thank you.
Mr. Ferguson said, and Ms. Loftus, let's go the top, please, of that email. No, the next one, please. Thank you. All right. And she writes back, Dear Mulan, I do apologize for this. Please disregard the previous email. Ms. Loftus. Can we now show the witness only what's marked as Government Exhibit 635?
By Mr. Ferguson.
All right. Ms. Lee, is this the attachment to the email?
Yes. 635.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit.
The court said, no objection.
Ms. Shrofa said, no, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 635 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, could you please publish? And Ms. Loftus, we're going to zoom in on the top portion.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Okay. Ms. Lee, do you see at the top in bold center it says, Written Resolution of the Sole Direct? Freedom Media Ventures Ltd., the company?
Yes.
And then I'll read the next line, where it just says, I, Howren-hee, being the sole director of the company. Where was this company incorporated?
BVI.
And the name Howren-hee, is that the person you referenced earlier?
Yes.
And in Chinese, do you typically give the last name first?
Yes, we call he Howren.
So with Howren-hee, what is the last name there?
He.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lee. Mr. Ferguson said, so if we could, I'll read the whereas. It says, whereas, Himalaya Exchange, the exchange, is a crypto ecosystem that provides financial services, crypto expertise and credibility with a regulated, transparent and secure crypto exchange. It says, the company has an existing account with the exchange, the account, for the purpose of online virtual trading. The account is held and managed through a virtual trading platform. It says, the company desires to remove and replace Alexandros Hadjikaralambas, who was appointed on October 31, 2021, as the company's authorized representative of the account held with the exchange. The company therefore recommends Hao Tian be appointed as its new authorized representative to access, operate, and manage its account held with the exchange, as may be instructed by the company from time to time. Ms. Lee, who is Hao Tian?
Hao Tian is one of the supporter.
What did she do? Mr. Ferguson said, you could scroll down, Ms. Loftus, too.
She used to be the director of G-Fashion.
The court said, of what?
The witness said, of G-Fashion.
Mr. Ferguson said, and Ms. Loftus, we could just blow up the signature line there. All right. And who is listed as the sole director for this document?
He Howren.
And sole director of what company?
Of Freedom Media Ventures, FMV.
Before receiving this document, Ms. Lee, had you ever heard of him?
No.
What was, to your knowledge, what was Howren-hee's role in the movement?
I don't know.
What's your understanding of who he is?
Ms. Shrofa said, her understanding today, her understanding back then?
What's your understanding today?
He's one of the family member of Miles Gov't.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, we can take it down. Ms. Lee, did there come a time when you helped supporters invest in what you described yesterday as the digital bank project?
Yes.
What was that investment project?
Digital bank is Miles Gov't. This is an investment project exclusively to the supporters. This investment will buy a digital bank.
Approximately when was money being raised for the digital bank project?
About early 2022.
And what did you do to help people invest in digital bank?
So Miles Gov't asked me to set up a fund in Australia and in Himalaya Alliance. The members who want to invest to digital bank, they can come to my fund and that way we'll invest together.
What was the name of your fund?
Ashwood.
Who promoted the digital bank investment?
Miles Gov't.
What did Gov't say about it?
This very good investment opportunity. It's very rare opportunity. And we'll have a good investment return, and also we can get another digital bank. Also another betting company's license, but later the betting license is being taken off.
What, if anything, did Gov't say about using H-Coin to invest in digital bank?
No. Miles Gov't said for this investment, you can't sell your H-Coin to invest.
So how could you invest?
You have to pay US dollar.
Ms. Lee, how much money did you raise in your fund Ashwood? Or how much money was sent to your fund Ashwood?
About 8 million.
And how many supporters invested?
About 55 members.
Where did you send that money?
Hamilton Fund.
When did you send that money?
About April 2022.
And after you sent the $8 million of supporter money, what happened after that?
Nothing happened, and then in around July 2022, I asked Wei Lin Jen, PH, how is the progress? And Wei Lin Jen said they're still doing some paperwork with authorities and we have to wait. But he said our money is safe, not being used, all the expenses is other investors' money.
Ms. Lee, to your knowledge, was a bank or two banks and a betting website ever actually purchased?
No.
Ms. Lee, what was the card program?
Card program is if you buy G-Club's card, so you get same amount of GTV share.
What kind of card was it?
G-Club's card.
And approximately when was the G-Club's card program being offered?
In the early 2021.
Was there a farm loan component to the card program?
Yes. Because G-Club's cards start from 10,000 and on to 50,000, so if your investment is less than 10,000, can go to the farm loan program.
And was there a minimum through using the farm loan program for G-Club's cards?
That's 10,000.
Ms. Lee, who promoted the card program?
Miles Gua.
And what did he say?
He said if you buy the G-Club's card so you can get the same amount of shares.
The court said, shares in what?
The witness said, GTV shares.
Ms. Lee, are you familiar with a company called Crane?
I heard from Miles Gua's broadcast.
And what was Crane?
Crane is a company to receiving the card program, receiving the money from the card program.
And to your understanding, why wasn't current program money sent to G-Clubs directly?
That at that time the G-Club's card, G-Club's company bank account have some problems.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, if we could show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 655. I'm sorry. 6155. Ms. Loftus, if we could just scroll a little bit. All right. Ms. Lee, what's this video?
This is a Miles Gua's broadcast.
And did you watch this broadcast at the time?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. Government offers Government Exhibit 6155.
The court said, no objection?
Ms. Shrofa said, one question, Your Honor. Voir dire examination.
By Ms. Shrofa.
Ms. Lee, what month and year did you watch this video for the first time?
It's in
I'm sorry?
2021.
What month?
I can't remember.
Did you watch it again with the prosecutor in his office?
Yes.
Ms. Shrofa said, I have no objection, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6155 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, okay, Ms. Loftus, we can go back and publish and play some of this video.
Video played.
Mr. Ferguson said, let's pause there. And Ms. Loftus, if we could first just show the parties and the witness Government Exhibit 6155T. And if we could scroll down. And if we could zoom on that, please, Ms. Loftus. The government offers Government Exhibit 6155T.
Ms. Shrofa said, no objection.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6155T received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. Ms. Loftus, if we could zoom out and publish it, please. You can scroll to the top.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, what's the date listed here?
It's
Does it say August 3rd, 2021?
March 8th sorry. It's March.
Ms. Shrofa said, Your Honor, will stipulate that the document.
The 8th of March 2021.
Mr. Ferguson said, okay. You can scroll down. All right. And if we could zoom on just the text, just the statement text. Please. I can read the text. It says, okay, brothers and sisters, today due to time constraints, GTV. I talked about 50%, then for the time I have for these 2 days. I am going to talk about G-Club and G-Fashion. Completely different from what you think. Before I talk, I want to tell you guys, for G-Fashion, up until now, $25 million to $30 million have been invested, there is no returns. How much does G-Club sell? About $250 million. It's like about 10% plus has been research and development in. It has nothing to do with you. G-Club, 25,000 cards, there are 25,000 people in it. Everyone needs to remember. Now everyone knows that the gift which is given to you exceeds your original worth, value. The most, you give 50,000 or 100,000. Buy 2 or 3 cards. I would like to tell everyone, whoever buys the cards this year after May, after March. It's that one, remitting to Crane, all of your you want card, and I'm sorry. Remitting to Crane. Ms. Lee, is that company you referenced earlier?
Yes.
And it says, you want card or you want stocks. For people who wants card, you need to pay the management fee. It's okay if you don't want the card. So you don't have to pay for the management fee. You can just have the stocks. However, but you have to get the card first. After you get the card for 1 year, you don't want to pay the management fee. Then the card will be automatically cancelled. Then for that card can't be transferred because it is issued to you. It can't be transferred. However, it can be inherited. It can't be transferred. It's all up to you to decide. However, for those who bought the cards originally, we call those official card buyers, those can be inherited and can be transferred. However, for these 2 cards, you can't return for any reason. It's like the original normal cards, they can't be returned. Moreover, what is this card going to do in the future? I am going to tell everyone again. G-Club will be a pass for future finance of the G-Series and all the comrades the whistleblower revolution to go out into the world in the future. And it is also the predecessor of the future New China Federation passport. Strictly speaking, it's the earliest identification card of the New China Federation. Ms. Lee, the line where he says buy 2 or 3 cards, what's your understanding of what buying 2 or 3 cards was referring to?
So if your investment is higher than 50,000, so you can buy multiple cards to match your investment amount.
What do you mean by that?
So for example, you can buy 50,000 card, or you can buy 2 of them, then your investment amount is 100,000.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, we can take this down. Ms. Lee, did your farm collect money for the card program or the component loan program?
Yes.
Ms. Shrofa said, objection to the term component loan program. There's been no testimony about that.
The court said, sustained.
Approximately how much did you collect?
About 200,000 in total.
And which entity collected the money?
HAA Group.
What happened to that money?
Then we've been told to send it to HCHK.
And who told you?
Brother Island Changdao.
And to your understanding, who gave instructions to Brother Island Changdao?
Miles Gua.
What was the company you sent it to?
HCHK Technology.
What was your understanding of what that company was?
That's one of Miles Gua's headquarter company.
Did you know anything else about it at that time?
No, nothing.
At the time you sent that money, did you have a loan agreement with HCHK?
No.
Did you have any contract with HCHK?
No.
Did you later receive some kind of contract with HCHK?
No.
Did you later receive a different agreement with respect to that transfer?
Yes.
And when did you receive that agreement?
About a year later.
And could you please explain what that agreement was?
That agreement is we signed with the New Zealand farm, and the New Zealand farm will sign with HCHK on behalf of all other farms. Because we've been told HCHK can't sign with every farm, it's too much.
And had you sent money to the New Zealand farm?
No.
Ms. Lee, what was your understanding of what the 200,000 you sent to HCHK was going to be used for?
It's for investment for GTV shares.
Did you or your farm receive GTV shares for that money?
No.
Did you or your farm receive interest payments for that money?
No.
By the way, Ms. Lee, for each $1 invested in the card program, how many shares did Milesqua say an investor would get?
For the new GTV, you can get 10 shares, so $1, you get 10 shares of new GTV shares.
And did you get 10 shares for each $1?
No.
Now, Ms. Lee, did you purchase any G-Clubs cards?
Yes.
How many?
1. Sorry, 2.
When did you purchase the first one?
Around April 2021.
And how did you pay for that?
HDO.
And remind us what HDO is.
HDO is 1 HDO equal $1. It's one of the cryptocurrency in Himalaya exchange.
And how much did you pay for your G-Clubs card?
50,000 HDO.
Why did you buy that card in April 2021?
Because G-Club's card is our ID in new federal state of China.
Who said that?
Milesqua.
Turning to the second card, when did you buy the second card?
Around July 2022.
And how did you pay for that card?
Because one of my farm member want to refund the G-Club's card, so I buy from him.
And did you pay with HDO or US dollars?
US dollar. I sent it to another member.
And how much was that card?
10,000.
And who did you send the 10,000 US dollars to?
To the supporters who wanted refund.
And could you please explain actually, withdrawn? Who, if anyone, did you discuss that refund with?
With Milesqua.
And what did he say to you about that refund request?
He said that time, don't refund, because that member really betrayed us. Start publicly criticize Milesqua and go to the traders broadcast.
Why did you send him a refund anyway?
Because he's one of the member of my G-translators and he's worked before. It's very hard. So I feel I have responsibility to refund to him.
Now so you sent him the $10,000. What happened with the G-Clubs card he had bought?
So his card transferred to my name.
Ms. Lee, you mentioned the new GTV and FMV earlier. How were supporters, or what did Milesqua say about how supporters could invest in FMV?
So FMV, so you need to send the US dollar to Himalaya exchange to buy the HDO. Then send the HDO to FMV account with Himalaya exchange.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, if we could show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 665. Ms. Lee, what is this document?
This is new GTV contract.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit 665.
The court said, no objection.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, may I have a quick question?
The court said yes.
Voir dire examination. By Ms. Schrofa.
Ms. Lee, did you ever read this document?
No, I just signed.
Ms. Strofa said, No objection, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 665 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, all right. Ms. Loftus, could we publish, please?
By Mr. Ferguson.
All right. Ms. Lee, do you see in the center in red text it says amended as at February 16, 2022?
Yes.
If we could please go, let me ask you, Ms. Lee, were you sent this document?
From email.
And why were you sent this document?
Ms. Strofa said, Objection.
What's your understanding of why you were sent this document?
Because this new GTV, so we start to sign the new GTV share purchase contract.
The court said, and by we, what do you mean?
The witness said, we means our supporters.
Mr. Ferguson said, if we could go to page 2, Ms. Loftus. Is there an objection? Okay. I'll read the first 2 sentences.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, may we have a sidebar?
The court said, okay.
Ms. Strofa said, Thank you.
At the sidebar.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, she testified that she never read the document. There's no question to pose about the document itself because she never read it. And the only thing that matters to this jury is whether or not she read it back then, whether or not she relied on it back then, and what her reliance is. If she never read it, there's nothing to ask her about.
The court said, so are you saying that she can't authenticate it because she didn't read it?
Ms. Strofa said, no. I'm objecting to him questioning her about the document. She cannot testify because she never read it.
The court said, so you agree that it's admissible?
Mr. Ferguson said, it's in evidence.
Ms. Strofa said, we didn't object.
The court said, okay. It's admitted. So are you going to ask her questions about what she understood at the time? Or where are you going?
Mr. Ferguson said, Your Honor, we're allowed to review a document in evidence with a witness. That was the entirety of Mr. Medrano's testimony. He didn't invest or anything. And this document was sent to her. We're going to look through it together to show the document to the jury.
Ms. Strofa said, we can't look through it together. She's not an expert witness. She is not a summary witness. She's a fact witness, Your Honor.
The court said, so any document in evidence can be read aloud by any witness.
Ms. Strofa said, no, I think that there has to be a relevance issue. Nothing that she would testify to today is relevant. The only relevance to this document is if she says, I relied on it to make my investment.
Mr. Ferguson said, the relevance is not even an element.
Ms. Strofa said, I haven't finished. So if you...
The court said, so it's relevant because she was involved in the investment?
Mr. Ferguson said, yeah, and this was sent to her.
Ms. Strofa said, and she never read it. That's why...
The court said, I'll permit the questions.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you.
Continued on next page. In open court.
The court said, overruled.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, I'll read the first two sentences. It says, this revised confidential information memorandum is intended for discussion purposes with select parties interested in evaluating an opportunity to invest capital into Freedom Media Ventures Ltd. The company.
The interpreter said, Counsel, if you can slow down.
Sure. The company is a newly formed business company incorporated in the British Virgin Islands on June 15, 2021. And, Ms. Loftus, could you blow up the third paragraph? Here it says, neither the company, True Horizon Ltd.
The company's parent company, and it continues. Ms. Lee, what is True Horizon Ltd.?
I don't know.
Had you heard of that besides reading it here?
No.
If we could go to page 9, please. And if we could zoom on phase 2. You see it says in the second line, Ms. Lee, for equivalent amount of Himalaya dollars, defined as $H per share.
Yes.
What do you understand that to mean?
So you can invest this by $H.
And we could zoom out. If we could go to page 11. I'm sorry, Ms. Loftus. Can we go back to page 9 really quick? I apologize. So if we could blow up the first paragraph under preferred investor pricing. I'll read this paragraph. In addition to the common shares offered to qualified investors in this offering, the company intends to offer common shares to a group of investors who have previously supported similar media ventures. The whistleblower movement and the company's mission statement, defined as individual investors, who will have the opportunity to purchase up to 10 common shares at a price of $1 per share up to a total of 15 billion shares or equivalent amount of Himalaya dollar per share as successfully procured on the Himalaya exchange. Ms. Lee, according to this document, how many shares would you get for $1 or $1 H?
20 shares.
Let's now go to page 11. Ms. Loftus. If we could blow up the second half under Board of Directors and the sponsor. Now, Ms. Lee, under composition. Do you see it says, currently one executive director has been appointed. And the company will invite up to an additional 4 independent directors. Do you see that?
Yes.
Let's zoom out and let's go to the next page. Who is the one executive director in this document?
Yvette 1.
And under non-executive directors, could you read the first name there?
Aaron Mitchell.
Who is Aaron Mitchell?
He's the one of the lawyers of Miles Gov't.
And beneath that it says John A. Morgan. Did you ever talk to John A. Morgan?
No.
If we could scroll down. Those three people are the executive and non-executives listed in this document, right?
Yes.
Ms. Lee, you testified earlier about being sent a document that showed the sole director of FMV. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And in that document you were sent by email, who was the sole director of that FMV?
He Harun.
Is he Harun listed in this document?
No.
Ms. Loftus, can we please show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-116? Ms. Lee? What's this document?
This is share purchase agreement.
For FMV?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers Government Exhibit 6-116.
Ms. Strofa said, Ms. Lee, did you ever read this document?
The witness said, when I receive, I just sign where I need to sign.
Ms. Strofa said, so the answer is no?
The witness said, no.
Ms. Strofa said, the first time that you read it with this prosecutor, correct?
The witness said, correct.
Ms. Strofa said, in this office, correct?
The witness said, yes.
Ms. Strofa said, I have no objection.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-116 received in evidence. By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, did you provide this document to the government?
Yes.
Can we publish Government Exhibit 6-116? Ms. Loftus? If we can scroll a little bit, if we can scroll to the bottom. Ms. Loftus? Let's just show the witness another document, Government Exhibit 6-115. Ms. Lee, what's this document?
This is Notice of Share Option Grant.
For FMV?
Yes, FMV for the new GTV shares.
Did you sign this document?
Yes. 6-115.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers Government Exhibit.
Ms. Strofa said, Ms. Lee, did you read this document before you met with the prosecutors?
The witness said, yes.
Ms. Strofa said, in what year did you read it?
The witness said, 2022.
Ms. Strofa said, I have no objection, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-115 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, if we could publish, please. Ms. Loftus, why don't we blow up the top half while we're waiting? Ms. Lee? At the top here it says Freedom Media Ventures Ltd. and then Notice of Share Option Grant. Do you see that?
Yes.
What's the date here?
8th of March 2022.
Whose name is listed?
That's me.
Beneath that it says you have been granted an option to purchase common shares of Freedom Media Ventures Ltd. as follows. And I'll skip down to the details of grant. It says, purchase price of $1 of up to 10 common shares in the company. What was the total number of shares you were being granted, Ms. Lee?
1 million.
And beneath that, how much did you have to pay to get that 1 million in shares?
100,000.
And if we could scroll down. Did you sign this document?
Yes.
Did you ever receive a countersigned copy?
No.
Now, did you ever get FMV shares?
No. This new GTV stopped, so we couldn't finish this project.
What did Miles Gov't say about why it stopped?
Because GTV being shut down.
And when did the GTV platform shut down?
Around July 2021, around that time.
Ms. Strofa said, did she say 2021?
If we could scroll up to the top of the document.
Around 2022, sorry.
Ms. Lee, after new GTV shutdown, what was the next platform?
We call the new platform.
What was AIAI?
AIAI is a new platform name.
Who came up with that name?
I don't know, but this Miles was said in a broadcast, so we know this name.
When did Miles Guo announce the new platform as AI?
Around July, August 2022.
Did this new platform ever actually come into existence?
No, it failed.
What, if anything, did Guo say about why it failed?
He said in the broadcast because investors think this no good. They don't want to invest in this platform.
Ms. Lee, what was A15?
A15 is after this new platform failed. It's the next investment project called A15.
What did Guo say A15 was?
A15 means we can get 5% of a Gov't share, 5% of G Club share and 5% of Himalaya Exchange share.
You mentioned Gov't. At a high level, what was Gov't?
Gov't is social media platform.
And to your understanding, who created Gov't?
Miles Guo.
Ms. Lee, when did A15 start, or when did Guo start promoting A15?
About October 2022.
And what, if anything, did Guo say about why you were doing A15 there?
Because AI project failed.
Ms. Loftus, can we show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-114? Ms. Lee, what's this document?
This A15's contract.
Were you sent this document?
Yes.
Did you read it carefully at the time?
No.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers Government Exhibit 6-114.
Ms. Shrofa said, Ms. Lee, did you read it at all at that time?
The witness said, no.
Ms. Shrofa said, and you relied on none of the information in that document, correct? You had all of the information in that document at that time, correct?
Mr. Ferguson said, Your Honor, it's not cross-examination.
The witness said, no.
The court said, these questions are better for cross-examination.
Ms. Shrofa said, I just wanted to make sure she didn't read it at that time.
The court said, so there's no objection to it being admitted, correct?
Ms. Shrofa said, well, I had the pending question because she didn't read it. She didn't have any access to that information.
Mr. Ferguson said, that's not a basis for admission, Your Honor.
The court said, the document is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-114 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, thank you, Your Honor. If we could please publish it, Ms. Loftus. Ms. Lee, while we're waiting, what were the ways one could invest in A15?
So they can use US dollar and HDO and also can through buy G Club card.
Looking at the document, you see it says subscription documents up top. And beneath that it says Ampleforth Capital Ltd. You see that?
Yes.
What is Ampleforth Capital Ltd?
This is company for receiving A15 investment money.
You mentioned a few ways you could invest?
Yes.
Which of those ways would you use Ampleforth Capital Ltd?
Only for US dollar investment.
Actually, we can take this down, Ms. Loftus. Now, Ms. Lee, you said A15 started in October 2022. How long did A15 last?
Last about 3 months.
What, if anything, did Guo say about why it stopped?
Not stopped, it just replaced by A10.
And what did Guo say A10 was?
So A10 is 5% of Gov't and the 5% of Himalaya Exchange, so no more G Club.
And what did Guo say about why there was no more G Club in this investment?
Because if they put G Club there, so members' information need to be public. So they don't want members' information being public.
Ms. Loftus, if we could show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-160. Ms. Lee, just to clarify. Around when did Guo start promoting A10?
January 2023.
Is the exhibit on your screen now, Ms. Lee?
Yes.
What is this video?
This Miles was broadcast.
What's the date of this video?
February 11th, 2023.
Did you watch this broadcast at the time?
Yes. 6-160.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit
Ms. Shrofa said, "No objection, Your Honor."
The court said, "It is admitted."
Government's Exhibit 6-160 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, "Ms. Loftus, let's publish, and we'll play the video."
Media played.
Mr. Ferguson said, "Ms. Loftus, we can stop there." Ms. Lee, do you recognize the people in this video?
Yes.
Who are they?
Miles Gwa and Fei Fei.
Who is Fei Fei?
Fei Fei is one of the supporters, and she's also member of Iron Blood Group.
Mr. Ferguson said, "The government offers pursuant to Stip 10 the translation Government Exhibit 6-160T.
Ms. Shrofa said, "No objection."
The court said, "If is admitted."
Government's Exhibit 6-160T received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, "If we could publish, Ms. Loftus." I'll go ahead and read the text. It says, "You know this card, ask about this project. Do you know what the concept is? For the project of this card, the original A0 project was called A15. A15 became A10 because 5% of G Club shares were lost due to you. But what did you get, you know? Beyond the expectation of the comrades, any of you, if you invest in A10, you'll hold the same card, which need not be paid. Similarly, if you use the card, you can own the same stock. You don't have to pay anymore. Right? In fact, you are not investing in the A10 project. You are strictly speaking investing in an enlarged version of A15. In what situation does this put the investors of G Club? We didn't attach information. But you own G Club without a cent. If I say that I am not stupid, I'm not a fool, and I've invested 1 million. And I can get a card of 1 million from G Club. And I'm also an equity owner, the identical shares. I get the shares and card. I hold both of them without any risk. You used to buy a pig, right? How much was the meat per kilo? Now it's a pig that brings you a group of pigs, right? Whether you buy the pig feet or the pig head, you have a group of pigs following you. Comrades, no one of you said that you wanted to invest, but actually you're investing and get cards for free. You take the cards and get the shares for free. Isn't that better than A15? And, Ms. Lee, could you read the Fei Fei text?
Everyone is happy to get a card. Everyone is happy to get a card.
No, you don't understand the core. Many people say, why did it become A15 and then A10? That stock is. G Club is not profitable at present. You can only receive the 5% annual salary. You can get it and the so-called profit in the future. But once you get the card, it's 100% your interest. And you get the shares. I get a card of 1 million, as well as 1 million shares. In addition, I also get the 5%. How could such a good thing happen? You can offer a discount. There's another thing I'll tell you. What is the most important thing about the card? Now, whether the card or the shares, you can get both. You can own the card and you can have the shares. I don't think many people understand the significance of G Club card. This is also when we can stop there. Ms. Lee, what do you understand Gov't to be talking about here?
He's talking about the A10. A10 is better than A15 because when you investment to A10, you also get the same amount of G Club card kind of for free.
And what was the price of G Club cards being offered at the time of A10?
So that time there's a new, we call it new G Club. They get 2 more level of the card. One is 500,000. One is 1 million.
So how much would you have to pay to get these cards?
50 million.
Ms. Shrofa said, "Objection to the form of the question."
The court said, "Overruled. You may answer."
Just take them one by one. How much would you have to pay to get those 2 new cards?
So for 500,000 card, you need to pay 500,000, but you also get a 10 500,000 shares. If 1 million card, you get 1 million card G Club card, you get the same A10 share for 1 million.
The court said, 1 million what?
The witness said, 1 million of A10 shares if you buy 1 million card. Or you buy 1 million A10 shares, you can get the 1 million G Club card for free.
So to participate in A10 as an investor, what were the ways you could do that?
So they also have 3 ways. Yes, you can have 3 ways. You can pay US dollar. You can pay by HDO. You can buy G Club card.
Ms. Lee, at the time of A10, where would you send money, send US dollars to buy a G Club card?
To Abu Dhabi.
Why would you send it to Abu Dhabi?
Because new G Club company established in Abu Dhabi.
And around when was this new G Club company established in Abu Dhabi?
Around end of 2022.
Ms. Loftus, if we could show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-189. Ms. Lee, what's this video?
It's Miles was broadcast.
What was the date of this broadcast?
8th of February 2023.
Did you watch this broadcast at the time?
Yes. 6-189.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
Ms. Shrofa said, no objection.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-189 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, Ms. Loftus, let's publish and play some.
Media played.
Mr. Ferguson said, we can pause there. The government offers the translations Government Exhibit 6-189T.
Ms. Shrofa said, no objection.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-189T received in evidence. By Mr. Ferguson.
Can you please publish that, Ms. Loftus? We can zoom in on the text. I'll go ahead and read the text. Ms. Lee. It says, the card project. Bear in mind, the new card has nothing to do with the original G Club. It is a completely independent G Club company established in Abu Dhabi. But it is also a G Club of the whistleblowing revolution, and it has the same benefits and functions. It has 2 kinds. The 500,000 card and the 1 million card. It will be on shelf in 3 weeks. About 3 weeks, 3 weeks to 4 weeks. The 500,000 card and the 1 million card. All the discounts enjoyed by G Fashion, your benefits and any future honors of G Clubs. Including the position in the new China Alliance. Including the 1-to-1 shares of A10 if you buy the card are all the same with the card and the share. Similarly, if you invest in A10, you are unconditionally receive a card with the same amount. Is it generous enough? It is impossible that half of Brother 7 say this today. And another half of me go to Japan to see the Grassroots Brother, or half of me went to Los Angeles to see the Mr. Lee. It is impossible. I must go to Japan in my whole flash or go to Los Angeles in my whole flash because G Club and A10 are inseparable. So brothers and sisters, please remember that buying the card means owning the A10 project with 5% stakes. And buying the stake means automatically owning the card. It's just like you have 2 doors to go home. Either you enter the front door or the back door, you will still back home. It is so simple. It is not just entering the front door and the back door. Walking through the Digwa card of the G Club or walking through the front door are all the same. Ms. Lee, what did you understand him to be referring to here?
So here Miles will introduce a new G Club company in Abu Dhabi under the 2 new level of the G Club. The membership, which is 500,000 and 1 million, and also the relationship with G Club card and A10 project. So you can get both.
Ms. Loftus, if we can show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-190. Ms. Lee, what's this video?
This Miles was broadcast.
Is this another clip from the same broadcast?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers Government Exhibit 6-190.
The court said, any objection?
Ms. Shrofa said, no, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-190 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, we can play a little bit, Ms. Loftus.
Media played.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers the translation Government Exhibit 6-190T.
Ms. Shrofa said, no objection, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-190T received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, can you please publish that? I'll read the translation. Those who need to replenish frozen funds should make payments to the SEC for the frozen funds. Of course, there are rewards for the investors for sure. Now, as long as you invest in the A10 project, you replenish original SEC frozen funds. You make up the Phoenix frozen funds or any replenishment. There will be the same reward, the same reward. And everyone remembers that in all this process, including many new investors who are now investing in the A10 project, the incentive mechanism and the intermediary of each farm needs to see 3.5%, 5.5%, and 7.5%. For anyone who bring new fellow fighters in, there will be incentive for them. There are rewards of 3.5%, 5.5 and 7.5%. How you allocate is your own matter. You can allocate with your parties. But these awards can be immediately redeemed. Ms. Lee, what's your understanding of what Gov't is talking about here?
He's talking about the incentive if you invest A10 or reinvestment. Make reinvestment so you can get the incentive of H coin.
When he refers to frozen funds, what did you understand that to be referring to?
The SEC is for the first GTV private placement. If you receive the SEC refund, you can reinvestment. Or if you haven't received the refund, you still can repay the investment early.
When it refers to the Phoenix frozen funds, what's your understanding of what that is?
Phoenix Farm Loan Program.
Who is the leader of the Phoenix farm?
Sarah.
What's her last name?
Sarah Way.
Do you recall what the Phoenix Farm Company was?
I don't know.
We can take that down, Ms. Loftus. Ms. Lee, you said earlier that one of the ways you could invest in A10 was HDO, right?
Yes.
At the time of A10, could supporters send money directly to the Himalaya Exchange?
No, that time Himalaya Exchange bank account has been seized.
How would people buy A10 shares using HDO then?
So every farm will help their member to buy HDO to invest to A10. So there's two ways to buy HDO with farm's help. So farm will record the members who want to buy HDO and who want to sell HDO and match them together so they can do the deal get HDO. And another way is they can send the money to the farm company. And the farm company will send it to the headquarter company and get HDO from FMV. Then farm will send HDO back to the supporters.
You mentioned getting HDO from FMV. Was that your understanding to be the same FMV account where the lockup coins went?
Yes, same.
And getting HDO, was that like a wire transfer of US dollars, or is that just on the Himalaya Exchange? I can withdraw. How would, to your understanding at that time, FMV transfer HDO to the farm?
Through Himalaya Exchange account.
Ms. Lee, at that time, at the time of A10, could you or anyone redeem HDO for US dollars from the Himalaya Exchange?
No.
Putting aside HDO, where would real US dollars go?
Ms. Shrofa said, objection.
Mr. Ferguson said, withdrawn. Where would US dollars go?
Would go to Miles Gov't headquarter companies.
Did you help facilitate some of those transfers, Ms. Lee?
Yes.
Which headquarter companies did you send transfers to?
Gov't, G Fashion, G Club.
Where was the G Club account you sent money to?
In Abu Dhabi.
Which of your companies did you use to make those transfers?
HAA Group.
Ms. Loftus, can we show the witness Government Exhibit 6-113? Ms. Lee, what's this document?
This my payment, bank payment statement.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers Government Exhibit 6-113.
Ms. Shrofa said, we have an objection.
The court said, you do have an objection. Step up, please.
Continued on next page. At the sidebar,
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, it's a foreign bank account. It's not certified. There is no stamp on it. And it's not properly admissible.
The court said, Isn't a business record of her farm?
Ms. Strofa said, It's not a business record without there being some level of certification. There's no certification whatsoever.
Mr. Ferguson said, The witness said what it is, Your Honor. We don't need a certification. We have a live witness who said this is my bank transfer record. That's 901 authentication.
Mr. Kamraju said, That doesn't admit a business record.
The court said, When she says mine, what does she mean?
Mr. Ferguson said, It's the record of the transfer she sent to Gov't. We can lay a foundation that this was a business record of her HAA company.
Ms. Strofa said, She's not the proper witness to lay a business record foundation.
Mr. Ferguson said, It's her company.
Ms. Strofa said, Sir, could you let me finish?
The court said, She was the person who was handling the business transaction?
Ms. Strofa said, She's still not the custodian of the records. The custodian of the records is the bank. The bank needs to certify the records in some way, shape, or form. The bank records are otherwise hearsay and are not properly admissible. Mr. Kamraju, you can chip in if you want.
Mr. Kamraju said, I was going to say, Your Honor. If they're trying to admit it as a business record for the truth of the matter that it's a wire transfer or anything else, then the proper foundation is that it's an ordinary course, regularly conducted, made at the time. Those are the elements of a business record. Every business record is authenticated by answering those 4 questions. So I don't think she can do that for the bank obviously. And I don't know how she can do that for one transaction for her company.
Mr. Ferguson said, If I may, Your Honor. I'm happy to lay a foundation that this is a business record of HAA, her company. She created, the only person who ran it, and it's a bank record that is part of HAA's business records.
Ms. Strofa said, It is not HAA's business record. It is a business record of the bank.
Mr. Ferguson said, That's wrong.
Ms. Strofa said, If HAA kept records and generated records that it kept in the ordinary course of business, those records she could testify to as the custodian of HAA. According to you, any Tom, Dick, and Harry off the street can walk in and say these are Chase business records. Yeah, I got them via email. I, as the custodian of Chase, can therefore put them in as an exception to the hearsay rule. That is not what the exception of the hearsay rule was created for.
Mr. Ferguson said, If I may, Your Honor.
The court said, If you just allow him to speak. 1 second. Go ahead.
Mr. Ferguson said, If I may say, Your Honor. That's not the way the business records rule works. The Second Circuit has long adopted what's called the adopted business records rule, which means if you have an accounting firm and you receive bank account statements, and those are part of your business records, even if they're made by the bank, they are adopted in part of your own business's business records. That is clear black letter law in the Second Circuit.
Mr. Kamraju said, You can have a business record that is a record that a business receives. But even then, you still have to lay the same foundation that in the ordinary course of business, regularly conducted business. All the same business records requirements apply. That's all I'm saying.
The court said, All right, so you're going to lay a foundation.
Mr. Ferguson said, I'll lay a foundation.
The court said, The objection is overruled.
continued on next page. In open court.
The court said, You may continue.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, you testified earlier that you sent transfers using HAA?
Yeah,
Who created HAA?
me,
Who controlled HAA?
me,
Did you have knowledge of its operations?
yes,
Did you execute the wire here on behalf of HAA?
yes,
And as part of your work with HAA, did you receive bank records about wire transfers?
yes,
Was it part of your regular business controlling HAA to receive and maintain those bank records?
yes. 6-113.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-113 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, please publish. Ms. Lee, on the top left, whose name is under authorizer name.
It's me.
What was the date of this wire transfer?
3rd of March 2023.
How much did you send on March 3rd, 2023?
About $640,000.
Where did you send it?
To Gov't.
Is that the beneficiary listed there?
Yes, Gov't USA Incorporated.
And what was the address for Gov't?
Number 3 Columbus Circle, Floor 20, New York, New York 10019.
And scrolling, looking down a little bit, who is the remitter?
HAA Group Pty. That's my company.
Instructions to beneficiary. It says payment. Who entered those instructions?
It's me.
Why did you put payment?
Because this is to buy the HDO, the payment for buying purchase HDO.
That's what you understood it was?
Yeah.
Ms. Loftus, can we show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-106? Ms. Lee, is this another bank record you received for HAA?
Yes. 6-106.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
Ms. Strofa said, same objection as before, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-106 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, we can publish, please. While we're waiting, Ms. Lee, is this another transfer from HAA?
Yes.
What was the date of this transfer?
17th of February 2023.
How much did you send?
About $500,000.
Where did you send the $500,000?
GFNY Incorporated. That's G Fashion Company.
What is the address of GFNY Incorporated?
3 Columbus Circle, Floor 20, New York, New York 100198760.
That's the same address as Gov't?
Yeah.
Ms. Lee, focusing on the value date listed here, the date on the page, the first two numbers. Which one on this document is the month and which one is the day?
17th, 17, that's the date, 02 is the month, February.
And where were you when you were sending this wire transfer? What country were you in?
In Australia.
Looking down towards remitter, who is the remitter?
HAA Group Pty, that's my company.
And what were the instructions to beneficiary?
HDO payment.
Why did you put HDO payment?
Because it's for purchase HDO.
That's what you understood it to be?
Yeah.
If we could show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-107. Ms. Lee, is this another bank record you received as part of your work with HAA Group?
Yes. 6-107.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
Ms. Strofa said, Your Honor, there's an objection, and I just direct the court to the top right-hand side of the document.
The court said, I understand the objection, and you're going to lay the foundation, correct?
Ms. Strofa said, It is, Your Honor.
Did you receive bank records as part of your work with HAA Group?
Yes.
And did you receive those records in the normal course of HAA's business?
This one account sent it to me.
Who sent it to you? Who sent you this?
Wang Can.
Who is Wang Can?
Wang Can is in charge of the Alliance Finance Department.
Was he a member of the Alliance?
Yes.
And you said he was in the Finance Department?
Yes.
Who controlled the Alliance?
Miles Gua.
Mr. Ferguson said, the government offers Government Exhibit 6-107.
Ms. Strofa said, Objection.
The court said, admitted. I understand the continuing objection.
Government's Exhibit 6-107 received in evidence. By Mr. Ferguson.
Can we publish it, please? Now, Ms. Lee, we looked at earlier a transfer to, just a moment ago. A transfer to GFNY. What does this record reflect after your transfer to GFNY?
About 2 months later, GFNY refunds the money back to me.
What happened of note in between those 2 months?
Miles Guo and Yvette Wang arrested.
Ms. Lee, just focusing you, the credit amount back is $501,977,000. Is that the same amount you sent to GFNY?
Yes.
And you got this back on April 17, 2023?
Yes, about 2 months later.
Ms. Lee, what did you then do with the money that was sent back from GFNY?
So I've been told to send it to G Club Me instead.
Where was the G Club Me bank account?
In Abu Dhabi.
If we can show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-108. Ms. Lee, is this a bank record from one of HAA's bank accounts?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit 6-108.
Ms. Shrofa said, same objection, Your Honor.
The court said, if you would ask some foundational questions.
Did you control HAA?
Yes, I'm the director.
And did you, as part of HAA's business, did you send wire transfers?
Yes.
Did you receive copies of transfer records as part of HAA's business?
Yes.
Did you keep and maintain those records as part of your normal course of business with HAA?
Yes. 6-108.
Mr. Ferguson said, Government offers Government Exhibit.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-108 received in evidence.
Mr. Ferguson said, can we publish, please?
The court said, Mr. Ferguson, you can ask with regard to future business records whether a given record is a business record like the others that was kept in the ordinary course of business.
Mr. Ferguson said, understood. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Kumraju said, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I believe he should also ask who he received the record from.
Ms. Shrofa said, Your Honor, may we please have a sidebar?
The court said, okay.
Continued on next page. At the sidebar.
Ms. Shrofa said, Your Honor, I renew my objection especially as to 107. The witness testified she did not get that record from a bank. She did not get it from anybody other than an individual associated with the alliance. That record was not properly received as a business record. 1. It's not sent by a bank, and 2. It's not maintained in the ordinary course of business.
The court said, my understanding is that it was sent by a finance officer within the Gov't world. Am I correct?
Mr. Ferguson said, correct.
Ms. Shrofa said, it's sent by an individual who's not in a bank. Sending a record maintained by a bank which is not this bank that she does business with, which is I think the NB. The bank at issue in 107 is called the NT Bank. It is not a bank with which she maintains any business relationship. The document doesn't come to her from a bank. There's no testimony that the person who's receiving that bank account and then giving it to her has maintained it in the ordinary course of business. There's simply no testimony to that effect. For those reasons, I would ask the court to strike the testimony pertaining to that particular exhibit. It is different from the others that the court admitted.
Mr. Ferguson said, we think there's a sufficient foundation for the business record admission. We also think there's a sufficient foundation for an agent statement. Gov't controlled the alliance in the finance department. This guy works in the finance department. He sent it to Ms. Lee, and either way it comes in. It's properly admitted.
The court said, to the extent that she received this business record in the ordinary course of business and maintained it, comes in.
Continued on next page. In open court.
The court said, you may continue.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Ms. Lee, what's the date of this transfer?
3rd of May 2023.
So about 2 weeks after you got the refund back from GFNY?
Yes.
How much was this transfer?
$500,000.
Is that the same amount you had sent to GFNY?
Yes.
Where did you send this?
G Clubs Me Limited.
And what was the address of G Clubs Me Limited?
Unit 46 Al Qadam, Abu Dhabi UAE, United Arab Emirates.
Who's the remitter?
HAA Group Pty.
Ms. Loftus, can we show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-109? Ms. Lee, is this another bank record that's a business record you received for HAA?
Yes. 6-109.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
Ms. Shrofa said, same objection.
The court said, it's admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-109 received in evidence.
The court said, I understand it's an ongoing objection.
By Mr. Ferguson.
Can we please publish, Ms. Loftus? Ms. Loftus, if we can blow it up again to make it easier to read. Thank you. What's the date of this transfer, Ms. Lee?
9th of May 2023.
About 6 days after the first G Club Me transfer?
Yes.
How much did you send on May 9th, 2023?
About $680,000.
Where did you send it?
To G Clubs Me Limited.
Is that the same Abu Dhabi UAE address?
Yes.
Now, where did this roughly $680,000 come from?
It's from other funds who want to buy HDO.
Ms. Lee, at the time you sent these funds, was there a contract with going back to the first? Was there a contract with Gov't?
No.
Was there a contract with GFNY?
No.
Ms. Shrofa said, objection, Your Honor. Contract between whom and whom?
Was there any contract with Gov't and you?
No.
Was there any contract with GFNY?
No.
And at the time you sent this money to G Clubs Me, both transfers, was there a contract with G Clubs Me and you or your entities at that time?
No.
The court said, the objection is overruled.
Ms. Lee, after you sent the roughly $1 million to G Clubs Me in Abu Dhabi, what happened after that?
After a few months later, I received a loan contract.
Ms. Loftus, can we show the witness what's marked as Government Exhibit 6-110? Ms. Lee, is this the loan contract?
Yes. 6-110.
Mr. Ferguson said, government offers government exhibit.
The court said, no objection.
Ms. Shrofa said, no, Your Honor.
The court said, it is admitted.
Government's Exhibit 6-110 received in evidence. By Mr. Ferguson.
If we could publish. Ms. Loftus, I ask you to zoom out and if you could zoom in on the top half. Ms. Lee. At the top it says loan agreement between G Club Me Limited and HAA Group Pty Limited. Do you see that?
Yes.
It says, this loan agreement is made on the 20th day of February 2023, the effective date. Did you sign this agreement on February 20th, 2023?
No.
Had you been sent this agreement as of February 20th, 2023?
No.
What was the date February 20th, 2023? What's the significance of that date if you recall?
Nothing.
Ms. Lee, beneath that it says, whereas the borrower has requested a loan from the lender in the amount of €1,044,977.69 defined as the loan. Ms. Lee, what's the significance, if any, to you of euro there?
Because they don't want to use US dollar.
What's your understanding of why they didn't want to use US dollar?
Because US dollar will be traced.
Traced by whom?
Traced by US government.
If we could scroll down please, Ms. Loftus, and go to page 4. If we could zoom on the signatures. Ms. Lee, who signed this loan agreement?
Me and another two.
Who are the other two? Who are the people who signed it on behalf of G Club Me?
One is the director called Ingrid Chow. Another is manager of the G Club is Kaida Wang.
And, Ms. Lee, if you can try and speak up, please. Who was Ingrid Chow?
Ingrid Chow is a director of New G Club.
Was she a supporter?
Yes, one of the supporters. The name is the Soraka.
Remind us, was Wang Ken a supporter?
Wang Ken also is supporter, and he in charge of the Alliance Finance Department.
Ms. Lee, you explained earlier these transfers were to you understood these transfers were to buy HDO. Right?
Yes.
Was the money you sent to G Club's ME a loan?
No.
Why did you sign this loan agreement?
Because the Alliance asked me to sign, so I have to sign with them.
Please keep your voice up.
So I have to sign with them because the Alliance asked me to sign.
We can take that down, Ms. Loftus. Ms. Lee, what, if anything, happened after you signed this loan agreement with G Club's Me?
So few months after that, they asked me to sign another loan write-off document.
Ms. Shrofa said, Your Honor, objection to the day.
The court said, overruled.
Who asked you to sign the write-off?
Lao Banzhang.
Who is Lao Banzhang?
Lao Banzhang is one of the supporters.
For the court reporter's benefit, could you spell that name, please?
Lao, Lao, Banzhang, Banzhang.
What was his role in the movement?
He used to be the chairman of the Himalaya Alliance and the leader of New Zealand Farm and Iron Blood Group member.
Ms. Shrofa said, I'm sorry. We couldn't hear what she said.
He is ex-chairman of Himalaya Alliance and ex-leader of New Zealand Farm and one of the Iron Blood Group member.
At the time I'm sorry, after you received the write-off request, what did you do?
I signed.
You said earlier it wasn't a loan. Why did you sign this write-off request?
Because I have to sign the Alliance requirement.
Ms. Lee, generally speaking, what kind of protest, if any, did supporters participate in?
The protest is protest for CCP spy and traitors.
Who called them CCP spies and traitors?
Miles Gua.
Did you ever participate yourself in these protests?
No.
Did you ever see these protests?
Yes.
How did you see them?
From broadcast.
What did the protesters do at the protest you watched at a high level?
Sorry.
In the protests you watched broadcast of, what were the protesters doing?
They would go to their house, around the house, and use the sign and board, and also some information send it to the local communities, say they are the spy in their community.
Have you seen broadcast where people got hurt?
Yes.
How many?
2 incidents.
What was the first incident?
First incident was one protester punched the CCP spy.
Where was he punched?
Face.
What was the second incident?
Similar, it's one of the protesters punched the CCP spy's friend.
Where was that person punched?
Eyes.
What, if anything, did Gua say about these incidents?
He said well done.
Well done.
MMHM.
Where did he say that?
In the group chat.
Do you know if these protesters were volunteered or paid?
Paid.
How were they paid?
They paid by Rule of Law Foundation.
How much were they paid?
About $200 per day.
How were these $200 payments made?
So Rule of Law Foundation will send it to the farm leader or the protester who in charge. And then they will give to every participant protester.
Who would pick the targets of the protest?
Miles Gua.
How do you know that?
Because he said in the broadcast.
What was the blacklist?
Blacklist is the member of the farm, if they start publish. Criticize Alliance or new federal state of China or Miles Gua, they will become CCP and a traitor. So their name go to blacklist.
What happened to some of the people on the blacklist?
Some of their personal information will be posted online.
Where would that personal information come from?
Ms. Shrofa said, objection.
The court said if you know.
Ms. Shrofa said, lacks personal knowledge.
The court said, if you happen to know where the personal information came from, you may answer.
From Miles Gua.
How do you know that?
He sometimes sends the message in the group.
What kind of group?
The Farm Alliance Group.
What, if anything, did Gov't say to do with the personal information?
So we can use to post it online and do some broadcast program.
Did there come a time when protesters protested withdrawn? Did there come a time when supporters protested the SEC?
Yes.
Around when?
2022.
Why were people protesting the SEC?
Because Miles Gov't said our invest money been seized by SEC, so we need to ask SEC to compensate us.
What, if anything, did Miles Gov't say about the SEC and the CCP?
He said SEC is infiltrated by CCP.
At the time, did you believe that?
Yes.
Did there come a time when a bankruptcy trustee was protested?
Yes.
What was the trustee's name? If you know, are you able to spell that name?
Luc Despens, LUC-DPNS.
Whose bankruptcy was Mr. Despens the trustee for?
Miles Gov't.
Why were supporters protesting the bankruptcy trustee?
Because Miles Gov't said he's a CCP spy and the DOJ also infiltrated by CCP.
At the time, did you believe that?
Yes.
How long were the trustee protest?
For 90 days.
Did you watch broadcast for those protests?
Yes.
The court said, "It's 11:30, so it's time for our break. Remember that you're not permitted to discuss the case amongst yourselves. You're not permitted to allow anyone to discuss the case in your presence. Don't watch, read or listen to anything concerning anything that has to do with this case."
The law clerk said, "Jury exiting."
Jury not present.
The court said, "Please be seated. Is there anything before we return at noon?"
Mr. Ferguson said, "Not from the government."
Mr. Kumraju said, "Not from us, Your Honor."
The court said, "Okay."
Recess.